I'd like to welcome you, both Amber and freshmaniac, for the Dustforce DX TAS, any percent all levels.
Hello. What's up, gamers?
What is up, Archie Nation?
Hell yeah.
Alright, you able to see everything alright, Fresh? I'm doing display capture.
Getting it up. Yep.
Okay. But anyway,
Uh,
this is the Dustforce DX any percent task. This is going to be completing all 75 levels back to back. And it's a tool assisted speedrun. You already know what that is if you're here, most likely. If not, Google it. But that said, it's very fast paced. This task has been in progress for arguably like let's say like 8 years about.
yeah.
That's about how long we've had task tools, and we've just been doing levels here and there. Our focus has been SS, which the task for that is already released, is in a very, very good state. But we decided to do any percent because this is actually where I kind of cut my teeth in this game, was any percent, and it's a category I think is really, really sweet, and the task is no exception. And
Yeah.
I've
And
got I'm
despite this,
co-commentary. I've got Fresh. Fresh, what's up? How you doing?
hey, yeah, I was just gonna say, despite this being like the main speedrun category for RTA players, it actually took a while for this task to come together. Like we had a bunch of ILs made like throughout the years, but we only had a full run come together just like a month or two ago.
Yeah,
Um,
and it was only because I really wanted to show it off here.
Yeah, and we've been more or less actively continuing to optimize it and work on it right up until now. Um, so hopefully it'll be a nice show.
It'll be a good hit, I think.
Yeah.
But anyway, we're just going to kind of get into it. We'll be explaining game mechanics as we go. I think a lot of task showcases kind of get bogged down in the details early on, so I'm just going to go pedal to the metal. Are we all ready on time and all that?
Ready here?
All right. You good, Fresh?
Yep.
Any last words? All right. We're going 3, 2, 1. Let's dust.
Oh,
All right.
stream is not moving for me.
Stream is not moving. Still not? Or
No.
one moment.
Technical difficulties.
Yeah. Why is it like that? Alright, hold on.
Oh, now I see movement.
Let me just
Don't know what was
reset the
up.
save to be safe.
Yeah.
Alright, false start. I wasn't feeling that one, honestly. That attempt.
Yeah, reset.
Alright.
Lost
3.
lost 1 second in beginning.
Yeah. 3, 2, 1. Let's dust. Alright,
Crazy.
there we go. Alright. So, really basic tech with ground boosting. Whenever you hit the floor at specific angles and speeds, you get significantly more speed, and you can maintain it by a specific rhythm of dashing.
This is also just the beginner tutorial and the tutorials in general are showing off basic movement in Dustforce. We have jumps, we have double jumps, we have wall jumps. We can run on the ceiling and the walls. Maybe a little different from some other platformers. When you wall jump, you can't infinite wall jump. Like you can't jump back to the wall unless you have a double jump. But,
Yep. So this level will kind of show off a big part of this task, and it is routing in dust collection. So this is any percent, and we just have to basically defeat all the enemies that are tied to the end trigger of the level. And sometimes we want to get a super to do that. So here we actually farmed a super throughout the level to be able to super all the enemies through the wall and complete the level way faster than intended.
yeah, you can see our combo meter in the bottom left that fills up when we attack dust or clear it or attack enemies. And once it hits 100, we have a super. Generally, like levels and tied to specific enemies tied to an end flag. So we're just trying to rush to those enemies and clear them as fast as possible.
Yeah.
Here we're doing a bunch of slope boosting. This is the fastest way to move in the game. So anytime there's a slope, we want to drop into them and try to get tons of speed.
And we'll use a lot of really obscure slopes too. We'll get very creative with it. So we're straight into
Wait,
the
Kennedy
main...
paths are on?
Yeah, don't worry about it. So
Alright.
we're straight into the main nexus. For people who have experience with Strawberry Jam and other collabs like that have a lobby, it's exactly the same thing, but routing it in Dustforce is way, way harder because we have 4 characters with vastly different physics, and we need to consider not only how fast those characters are into level, but how fast they are between levels. And yes, that is incredibly significant. There are many levels where we play a weird character just because they move into overworld faster. It is
Yeah,
an
you can see
absolute
right there.
routing nightmare.
Yeah, Worth we picked both because he's the fastest on that level shaded growth, but also we jump up to this level early. Worth is the only character with jumps tall enough to reach that.
Yeah.
And here, kind of a weird pick for Firefly Forest on the previous level. Normally a Worth level, Girl is faster than TAS.
Yeah, it requires some very precise boosting.
Oh, we have tunnels coming up just
Dahlia
after this
first,
one.
yeah. So let's talk about tunnels now. I've been speedrunning for like 12 years, and this strat coming up is the greatest thing I've found in speedrunning to this day.
I believe the only level where we use an apple.
Yes, correct.
Yeah. So the level is all below us, or the main path and level, but we go back up at the start to grab this apple and just squeeze out of bounds in this little piece of geometry that they forgot to fill in, or the shape leaves a little gap, and we can just juggle the apple out of bounds and bring us to the second half of the level much faster.
And,
also, another example of
yeah.
an alternate character usage. Kid is slightly slower on this level, not too much, but her 3 air charges, 2 double jumps, lets her be the only one to get around the left side of the Night Temple at this part.
And that movement saves like a second alone, so even though she saves, or she loses like 0.1 in the actual level, she saves so much time there, it's well worth it.
Mm-hmm.
And Night Temple is a really good example of a just pure dust routing level. Getting to A to B is pretty straightforward on this level, but there is so much like to consider when getting 100 dust.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, and then we're going to go over the top here and drop right into the ending. We're going to bonk
Right
this
into
wall,
a wall of
100
dust.
Yep, 100
Yep.
dust. Perfect.
Summit, I don't think there's anything too crazy going on.
There's a really cheeky slope boost here that got found very recently. Xanda actually showed us a replay of him doing this in like 2012, so...
Yeah, but for some reason, none of the records use it. It's nothing
Yeah.
that has been humanly used.
Yeah.
On Grass Cave, or wait, no, that's next.
Yeah.
Oh, essentially, this is a level that for a long time was a dust collection level that we farm up to 100 and super at the top. But actually, very recently, humanly, it was also done faster without super. But this was a recent change where we just skip collecting dust, we just climb as fast as possible. And then there's a bear at the top that we can kill in 3 heavies. Sorry, clean in 3 heavies.
Oh yeah, no. Save the animals.
Yes.
So a clip here, there's just not a ceiling here technically, it's just 2 walls next to each other, and with enough jumps you can just clip yourself right out and go straight to the end of the level.
Alright, next up is Wild Den. Do you want
Crazy, just watch. Oh, that is a lot of boxes.
No.
Don't worry about it. Yep, that's very, very fast. That is also only like a frame or 2 slower than SS, I believe. It's just like the dust on the bottom left is the only difference.
Yeah, so it's hard to catch everything just watching it through, but the porcupine enemies send out quills that you can redirect to clear enemies. Like you bounce them into enemies and it will take them out in 1 hit, which is much faster than doing 3 or 4 heavy attacks on every one of these big enemies. So quills just go flying everywhere.
Another level that has, for like the beginning of time, has been a 100 dust level, but this one, or well, you would get do a different route where you take a bunch of damage at the end of this level to farm dust, but that's very slow compared to very crazy ending combat.
Yeah, all of that is extremely hard to do.
Yeah, insanely hard.
Oh, here, this was for a long time a girl level, but Kid is showing off one of her niche strengths. She is the best character at covering long distances. So she can dash in the air 2 times and carry a ton of speed to do what we call a low boost. and maintain a slope boost from the very beginning of the level to much later. Very odd kid level there.
Yeah.
Not normally the best at slope boosting.
And we're finishing up Forest right now. Decent time for donations, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have a donation from Frozen Flygon. Really excited for this task. Thanks, Amber, for bringing back Archiethon. It's a joy to work on every year. So thanks.
Yeah, Mansion showing a lot of like basic platforming stuff. Lots of just climbing and ground boosting. This is Worth Heaven.
Yeah, Worth has by far the best vertical movement in the game, and a lot of mansion levels are very, very vertical. So you'll be seeing a lot of the green old man.
Mm-hmm.
Really tight double heavy here to get 2 and 1. Very precise and cycle dependent.
Here we go backwards a little bit at the start to get a ceiling boost, to get a faster boost through the next section, but otherwise pretty straightforward level. These levels actually have a lot of like little cycle dependent stuff. You can see like the gargoyles and lots of enemies just kind of bob up and down.
Pretty underwhelming level here. It's just kind of hold right and boost a whole bunch. You get to see a whole bunch of boxes. Doing this is one of the worst ILs in the game for humans, by the way. It's just a bunch of frame perfect dashes in a row to get a top level time.
Yeah, you have to dash in rhythm, and the rhythm is not consistent. It's like a specific pattern. Ooh.
Yeah, it's a repeating sequence that starts depending on the subframe you hit the ground. Which, by the way, this game has subframes. If you know of like quarter frames or like quarter steps in Super Mario 64, it's exactly the same idea. And if you don't know what that means, do not worry about it.
Storeroom is an interesting level. This level is actually, it has very, very little difference between any percent and SS. There's only one frame between the any percent and SS rad and TAS for Kid.
Yeah.
And it's so fast. Kid is so good at this level that even when the SS was the fastest run for Kid, it would still be faster to use Kid over Grill.
And at the start of Moon Temple, we did depth work. We have to climb up and hit a checkpoint first, because otherwise, if we hit the checkpoint immediately, the level just restarts. You have to hit a checkpoint first, basically.
Yeah, and that lets us skip basically the first half of the level, or the second quarter, I guess.
Right. This level, also a decent time for any plugs or donations or anything. Pretty straightforward one right here.
Yeah. All right, I'd like to remind everyone that we have 2 incentives right now. We have the Rhythm Doctor Easter Egg, which if met Moonlight Stardust will showcase a secret level that has a dog remix of level 3x, 1 shift more. We also have the Bid War to decide the color or style of the sleeve design for the Rhythm Doctor run. Right now, the trans flag is still in the lead for that one. So let's get those donations in. Let's get the Bid War, some competition. We have the trans flag, the non-binary flag, pink, purple, teal, for the Bid War, and let's get that incentive so we can see that secret level.
So Tower for a long time was kind of locked in time by the bobbing cycles of these enemies and their movement cycles, but very TAS only tech, or close to TAS only. Precise stuff can let us break that cycle, but even then, it's still only like 4 or 5 frames faster than the previous record.
Yeah, it's like nothing. This is a really good showcase of Kid's strengths, by the way. Having an extra jump and dash goes a very long way in keeping your speed through the air.
Yeah, despite not having very small jumps and there being a lot of climbing sections, she's just so much better at crossing all of these little gaps, or long gaps, I should say, that she turns out faster. And we can do this nice movement to Observatory.
Oh yeah, and speaking of Observatory, lots of dwarfs. There's a 1 pixel gap on the set of spikes that you can land on and refresh your air charge. Obviously very powerful to be able to just like jump on a place that is otherwise supposed to kill you.
Yeah, lets us skip a lot of like going back and forth from one side of the level to the other just to wall jump. Lets us climb a lot faster. So Should we do more donations here?
Yeah, it would be if you have anything else.
Yeah, we have a donation from Big Diesel for $10. It just simply says this game looks cool, and it really does look really cool.
Yeah, true. This game's awesome, by the way.
Yeah.
Has to this day, a very active IL community. Has in-game leaderboards with replays. It's very easy to compete with your friends. Highly recommend getting into it.
And tons of custom maps, so there's
Oh, yeah,
always
yeah.
new content.
Alright, and finishing up Cliffside.
We move on to caverns.
Yeah.
Once again, most of the level is down below, but if we just dash to the left at the start, we can use some cute movement to get over the top. And use a bunch of slopes to travel across much faster. Go right into the end.
Library is a pretty crazy level. This skip is actually done by humans now, but it'll be coming up. There's a pretty crazy thing going on at the end of this level.
Yeah,
In
beginning
Kelvin-
isn't too crazy.
Yeah.
Here we do a pretty terrible looking boost because Worth just drops through dust blocks if he comes down too fast.
Yeah.
So we can't go super fast there. Here, set up a little extra speed off the slope. And then we take a slight detour towards the apple
Yeah.
and just do a bunch of precise jumps out of bounds and half out of bounds to come into the bottom of the level from below.
Yeah. And like, if you want to know how dedicated the IL community is, like, people have done that in ILs, and it's like completely blind, incredibly precise, right at the end of a very difficult IL.
And
it saves like
overall
barely any
saves,
time. Yeah, like
saves like a
0.3.
tenth of a second.
Yeah.
0.3.
Oh yeah,
Here,
courtyard is,
Kid-
yeah.
Kid actually using that long distance boosting to counteract a bug in the game. When you move to the left in the air, the friction is actually calculated wrong. So when you're going left, your speed reduces dramatically. The friction is way higher.
Yeah.
So Kid can maintain speed much better. Going
She also
left.
just does some like really unfair stuff in the rightwards moving section. But yeah, the
Yeah.
bug specifically is with leftward moving friction only. It's just like a programming error straight up. Like a positive
Yeah.
sign instead of a negative, or vice versa. They just messed up.
Yeah, the multiplier is just wrong. Oh, here, this is normally a Kid level. We're breaking these dust blocks in a precise way to get out of bounds, and then we can just go to the end. There, you're supposed to go up through this like snaking path and drop through a bunch of dust blocks into the end, but we can just go through the wall.
Don't blink. Fastest level in the game.
I love how the camera doesn't even follow. We
Yeah.
exit the level so fast.
Yeah, that's sub 1 by 1 frame, and that is like a 200-way tie for the IL, I believe.
Yep. I think, is it up to 300 yet? It's in like
Probably.
the 280s or something.
Yeah. So another kind of weird character choice coming up, Dustforce on Apartments. As it turns out, this was kind of a surprise, but he's only a few frames slower, but he is better for the Nexus movement coming up, so...
He might even be fastest now, I'm not sure. Or is he...
That might be, yeah. I forget. I think he's a little bit slower than
But
Girl.
here
But yeah.
we're abusing a glitch where you can refresh your wall run. It takes a little while to set up, but using that we can climb this wall that would normally only be climbable by Dusket, I think.
Yeah.
If even that character. And we can use this to enable a completely different routing of city. So normally we would go to the left and go up towards the silver key levels. No, the doors are locked at any percent, but those would normally be silver keys. But now we
It's
can
wor-
save those until later.
And it's worth mentioning, again, that infinite wall climbing tech is very slow to pull off, so it's very, very niche. But it's also incredibly difficult for humans. That's double frame perfect to do.
Yep. Here we're coming up on Concrete Temple. This is one of the most interesting any percent levels. Lots of very difficult movement and very precise stuff. So coming up, this is cycle dependent and requires a wall jorf, very precise.
Yeah.
And then those wall jumps get me every time.
But yeah, getting that up heavy, incredibly precise on the cycle. It's blind. You have to be moving like very fast through the level, and you have to hit this afterwards, which is an off-screen like pixel perfect jump that saves a second. Never is going to happen in an IL ever. Like,
well, that one has actually.
that
two,
one has.
Two people
but,
have done the
Yeah.
blind wall jump, but the cycle one has never happened.
Yeah.
No chance.
Yeah. Even if you hit the cycle, you have to do the part after. Good luck.
I have an announcement if we have the time.
Go for it.
We have reached over $7,000 donated to the Palestinian Children's Relief Fund.
Let's
With
go.
the recent donation from Pellendy that simply says, "This game looks cool."
Nice. Thank you. And
So-
hideouts, yeah, a neat
Yeah,
level,
go.
but pretty frustrating. Very cycle locked. We have to wait a bit here at the end.
Well,
Yeah. Unlucky, but still, girl is way faster on Nexus movement, so.
Yeah, unfortunately, those walk cycles for the enemies just put them farther and farther apart. The faster we go, we just have to wait a little bit.
Yeah. Alright.
And this is these are the levels that we left till the end before coming to the end of City.
Yeah.
Um,
For any sane human run, you would be ending on Forgotten Tunnel right now. Which, speaking of, this is also normally a level for humans that you farm 100 dust on, but it's actually very slightly slower for TAS. It's like a difference of 0.3 or so now, I think, but it's faster just to skip some dust on the way and then do this crazy sequence of heavies at the end. Killing 5 enemies with 1 heavy at the end.
mhm. Oh, scaffolding has a very wacky ending that is absolutely TAS only.
Yeah.
So this is normally a man-girl level. They have the best slope boosting and such, but at the end we do some very precise dwarf dash jumps that lets us like move towards the outside of the wall. Normally you would climb up the shaft and super from inside. We can just go over the top on these spiky platforms.
Probably the most recent development for human runs in this level right here. This is a new boost found by Xanda that's done in ILs now, saves like 0.2. But yeah, going all the way up and bonking the ceiling gets you a larger boost and it's way faster.
You want to talk about sock boost?
Oh yeah, so shout
Shout
out
out
to
to
Bubs
Bubs.
in chat. So he was learning this game and he was watching like the top 50 IL for this. And it was some random guy that like nobody in the Dustforce community had ever heard of, but he accidentally hit a massive boost at the start of VATS. And it saves like over a second, I think. It was just
I
some
think it was,
random
like, half a
guy.
second, but
Yeah, like
still
it's
huge.
still a half a second. Dustforce is like a year.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just a random guy nobody had ever talked to in top 50. So shout out to Sock Puppet 1, I think it is. So we call it Sock Boost after him.
Puppet sock one?
Puppet Sock maybe?
2?
Yeah,
I don't
Puppet Sock.
remember.
I don't know, something like that. Shout out to them.
Right here, very precise. Basically, we manipulate our speed and touching a wall at a precise time to stick to it. Walls are kind of sticky in Dustforce in specific ways. We can use that to make the slope wall, or the slant wall, pull us to the left and keep that speed, and then turn that all into a huge ceiling boost at the end of server room there.
Girl's kind of a weird pick on whatever this level is called. I forget honestly.
Security.
But it's very, very close. The main reason why we think it was just Nexus movement, but I think for humans it's like a difference of a frame or something between Girl and Worth, which is insane.
Yeah, very small difference.
Shout out to
this-
Arv for this
yeah.
route.
This was for a really long time. Research was a Worth level, but Arb always had man research in his heart.
Yeah.
Was one of the first TASs ever put out for any percent, I think, maybe for SS2. But after like years and a bunch of tech improvements, man turned out to be much faster here, using lots of obscure slope tech.
Yeah. We haven't even really talked about it, but with some specific stuff and like depending on your facing direction, you can reverse your boost out of slopes.
Yeah,
It's
so
very
those
niche,
places
but-
where we like
yeah.
jumped into the ceiling and fell into a slope, like going the wrong direction for just a second, we can take all of that slope boost speed and reverse it. much faster than humans can.
Yeah.
If you have the
Also,
time for an announcement.
Yeah, go for it.
We have reached the next with a $263.03 donation, it's very specific, from Florida Man. We have reached the next milestone of 72, 72, 72.
Nice.
With the comment of when you.
Nice. Let's go. This is another
Thank you.
strange pick for Dustkid.
Yeah.
You can actually see how small her jumps are, and there's so much climbing in this level. But she can keep so much speed in these horizontal sections that no other character can, despite this looking quite slow. Probably.
Yeah, this climbing on the top right especially is like, ugh. But still, this is horizontal stuff right here. She is just so much faster than any other character on it. It's ridiculous.
Oh yes, this game is also the source of the ultra difficult music.
Yeah, true, yeah. This is actually the inspiration for it too. You'll see the levels in a bit that inspired that level in Spring Collab.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right now we're in the last main hub of the game. There are 4 main hubs, and then there will be a difficult levels hub, the final area after this. Oh, here's the level is just to the left of the start, but we go abuse this slime bear to hit us a bunch of times and get dust really early and just go back to the start with a super.
Bit's very straightforward, just fall into the end, clean really fast.
Mm-hmm. Dome much less straightforward.
Oh yes, Dome, one of the craziest routes in the TAS, easily. We're playing Dustkid.
Yes.
And it's because she can do really crazy air dash boosts coming up right here. We hit a slope dwarf, and we keep our speed onto all the slime blobs. We can keep a massive low boost there, right along the ceiling here, and then do some crazy nonsense into the end.
Yeah, Dustkid, besides just having really good abilities to maintain speed, he's also the only character with enough dashes and fast enough attacks to gain speed through air boosts. So all throughout that section, she is actually increasing speed.
Yeah.
Very crazy stuff.
The 3-light ending on Access is so ridiculous, by the way.
Yeah. No other character can get close to that.
Yeah.
Dustforce attacks are just so big.
Yeah.
Here this is a pretty new route for Core Temple. Instead of going through the main route, we go up the outside of this, and we can just get barely enough height to get over the top of a little spire in the middle without doing a twirly, which would waste a lot of time. And then we clip through this section at the end, and we don't have enough dust for super, so just a few heavies, and we're done.
Yeah, and then we're out. We're climbing up to the difficulties. Big reason why we play Worth on Core Temple is just for this climb right here.
Mm-hmm. And this is the final area in the game. These are the so-called difficulties. This level has been kind of like a meme any percent for a long time. You can see we're just doing as many dwarfs as possible.
Yeah. The human IL for that level is just like a competition for who wants to grind the most pixel or frame perfect things.
Yes. I think it's a good meme, though.
It's a very good meme. It's iconic for sure, but man, is it not fun.
Yeah. You can see we did it on Kilo and here as well. We can pass through 2 walls right next to each other with spikes on either side. There's like 4 pixel gap. There's also a death warp in PETA normally.
Yeah, it's slower. In-game time doesn't advance during death warp, so they're really good in ILs, but you won't see them in full game context because it's real time.
Mm-hmm. Here showing off the way we can just fall through those gaps. Very precise.
Yeah. X is a level, I guess.
Yeah. One of the few levels, it's actually pretty hard to do, but people have tied the TAS for that.
Yeah. It's like, I think 5 frame perfect inputs to tie TAS.
Something like that.
Crazy up heavy here. This is incredibly precise hitting that prism with up heavy. It's been known for
there's like no way to do it without a super, but
yeah. It's been known for like years and years that it was possible, but it was only very recently added to ILs. It's just that difficult. Crazy right at the start of Yada. This is the last level, by the way. We're going to be blind a little bit, but we reset our camera with a Dwarf, actually. And we're just going to go over the top, hit a bunch of slope torques on the way just to get a bunch of extra speed. And then fall through a 3-pixel gap here.
And then we once again ignore the intended route of the level and go out of bounds through this side section.
Yeah.
Skip saying hi to Gordon.
Yep, no Gordon.
And here we're dropping
right on a slope.
Yeah, right into a slope.
And this is it. Good luck. This is the last climb of the run. The time will stop for this run whenever the in-game timer at the bottom left stopped. Whenever we clean all the prisms at the end. That's time.
GG's.
GG.
And 55.666, to put it in perspective, is like 8 seconds faster than a human record. Just absolutely ridiculous. But anyway, that's Dustforce DX any %. All 75 levels done. All sorted.
That's all she wrote.
So, any closing thoughts or anything, Rush?
No, thank you guys for watching. Make sure to keep watching the runs and donate if you can.
Yeah. Oh, and we never even really shouted out the authors and stuff. Yeah, we should probably do that. So, big shout-outs to Xanda, one of the best real-time runners of the game of all time, and also one of the best tasters. Brother Mojo, an OG taster, not as active these days, but this run would not exist without them, like, no question.
Mm-hmm.
Arbitrary Asian, again, has helped out a ton with the task. One of the best tasters easily. Androcide way back, but they were an old school taster that is a huge inspiration for people. Ideal has helped. Ryokai has helped a ton back in the day. Ideal has helped quite a bit recently, especially. They're kind of a newer school player, but it's helped a bit.
Mm-hmm. Lots of people who have contributed strats over time, and MSG, of course, for building Dust Mod, making all of it possible. MSG 555 built DustKid, the character leaderboard site. Did most of the modding for the game and built almost all of the tools for this.
Sasha
as well.
Sasha as well is a taster. Shoutouts.
All right, where can everyone find you two?
Around.
Yeah.
I don't stream much anymore. I'm pretty busy in terms of speedrunning. I don't have many plans, but you can find me on Twitch if you really want to. amberlovesarchie. I might be playing Helldivers or like Minecraft or something.
Yep, and, same here. I'm on Twitch these days, mostly doing casual stuff. Not as much. I might do some Dustforce tasking occasionally, but it's not going to be the main thing. So if you really care to, but you're not going to get regular content.
Yeah.
Well, thank you two so much. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
You.
Long live Archie. See y'all.
Long live Archie.